young people in the US, the pandemic has affected so much more than their financial stability. It's also had a devastating impact on their health, families, and future, as CNN's Kyung La reports.
Hannah and Joseph Kim knew growing up would be tough, but the siblings never imagined it'd be like this.
Towards the end of April, they consecutively went to the hospital. It was my grandmother first, and then my dad the next day, and then the next day was my mom.
COVID-19 took them one by one over just a few months, leaving the 22-year-old and 17-year-old Joseph alone.
My parents are gone, and for the last 3 months, we didn't even have capacity to think about our futures. You know, we were just scrambling to save our parents.
She has no time to grieve, no time to show her loss. Hannah is in college now. Joseph in high school, with no extended family nearby or a clear path for how to make a living.
This is a memorial that we made for our parents, so we could just remember them and, you know, look in every day.
They're part of the hardest hit age group in the COVID economy, young people. Generation Z and Millennials have America's highest rates of unemployment. About half say they or someone else in their household have either lost a job or had a pay cut since the pandemic began.
You don't have a choice. Like, I work, get sick, or I end up in the streets.
29-year-old Josue Martinez is the sole breadwinner in his household, paying the rent for this small converted garage he shares with his mother and girlfriend. He kept working at his job at CBS during the worst of the virus in California. Martinez says employees were notified that a COVID-positive patient had visited the store in March.
That's when I started getting all the symptoms. That's when I started getting the fever, the cough, and at the end I was like, I couldn't breathe at all.
This is what happened to Martinez. For 45 days, he was in a medically induced coma, nearly losing his life in intensive care. Weeks later, he survived, but he's dependent on a walker before the age of 30.
Do you think that this will impact your ability to make money or to work in the future?
Yeah, I do. So any activity I was doing normally, like now I'm like limited, like I can't do.
Young Americans with no choice but to deal with the hand they've been dealt.
I'm still alive, and my brother is still alive, and we're healthy, and so, yeah. I think that's just pockets of joy is what I'm looking for and is what keeps me going.
Kyung La, CNN, Los Angeles.